Look what I got for you. You like broccoli? Of course you do. Look at that. I got a whole bunch of broccoli here. Hi, everybody. It's Robbie from Southern California, and today is my garden tour. It is May 1st. I can't believe it's May. Well, I don't even know. It seems like the days are slow these days, and then the days go fast. I don't know. But I'm going to start right now. I hope everybody's well. I'm going to start right now on my garden that is now in the driveway. It's not set up yet. Keep in mind, I've only really seriously started setting this up 2 weeks ago. I got everything about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, but now I really started setting it up and sprouting seeds. I cannot believe how fast things are growing. I've already done a garden tour just on the side, so I don't have to go into details, but these are my totes I am setting up. That tomato that looks so sad, keep in mind, I did not plant it. So we'll see what happens. If it doesn't grow good, I'll take it out. I know that the leaves are a little curly. I've heard all the things, diseases, but you know what? I've had them like that. Bam, they just start taking off and then they turn into the most beautiful plant. So being that I just set this up, this was just set up within the past 2 weeks, if that. I'm going to leave it. If it does good, I'll leave it. And if it looks bad, I'll yank it out and toss it out or do something with it. But we'll see. It was there. So I'm not going to take it out. Peppers and all different squash are coming up. And as you see, I layer. See, I've got 2 pots together, a bigger one on the bottom and a smaller one on top. That's for peppers. I can leave in there. They've got plenty of soil to go down in because there's holes on the bottom of the top pot. And this is tree collar. This is just things like definitely have to get in there and thin this out or I'll lose them. I had so many seeds sprout. I didn't expect like 100% that I ended up with more than I need. I put them in 6-packs. I sent them to my daughter. She said she only wanted 1. I said, no, you got to get 6 at a time. Radishes, this is great. Oh, I love doing that. And now when I water the radishes, if there's runoff, it goes in here and it waters this, which is parsley. That's a little purple tree collar that got broken in half. So we'll see how it does. Tomatillo and then a red celery. I don't know if I'll leave them all in there, but for now, it's fine. Now let's quickly walk through. We don't have to go through it all. I don't know. I have looked this up and looked this up. And I don't know why they're yellow. Maybe the seeds were no good. I've had the seeds for years. Tried to grow them, and all it does is grow yellow. I mean, it's not the container. Everything's doing great, because look, I only planted 3 seeds. Oh, I got something else coming up next to it. So we'll see. I'll leave them for now, because I'm curious to see what it's going to do. I even tried to look it up, and I couldn't find anything like it. I've seen leaves turning yellow, and all these things, but not that it grows like this. Oh, look at this. Overnight, my pepper is taking off. This plant was kept alive all winter in our back room, that greenhouse room in the house that Gary built, and it looked terrible, and they are both taking off. I've got another one down there. So I love those peppers. So I've got to get that going. And then, of course, I'm using this as a nursery because there's not much else you can do with these upside-down planters. You could grow a few things, but I like using them as a nursery. More seeds that I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to put all this squash. And they're all kinds. They're delicata, spaghetti squash, kabocha. Let's walk over here real quick. This is my work area right now. I started putting some seeds in here and they're popping up so fast. I don't even know if I put seeds in these yet. I probably didn't. I'll have to see, because this is my kabocha, and then Gary wanted the Queensland Blue, and I had the seeds for so many years. They're in here, and they are sprouting. Oh, sorry, don't mean to touch you. And he wants to plant that, and these are old seeds. I bought them so many years ago, and then he can put them somewhere, because I have too much. But that's it. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks. This place should look so different and be so green, and I'm still going to set it up all the way to the bathtub. So it's going to take me time. I've been devoting almost any spare time I've got to the yard here, to this particular garden, because I want this to work really good. This should be great because once it's set up, once those totes are situated, which they are already, come, let's say, September, October, I could grow all my winter stuff in here, all your kales and broccoli, everything in here, and I should have a beautiful winter garden going all year until spring comes again because of the wall will stay warm. It's a south-facing wall, so it gets a lot of sun. And that's why I'm very excited. We'll see what happens for the summer. So far, it's been, really warm. And today, the sun is already coming out. I tried to get out here before the sun broke through the early morning overcast. And it's already coming in. But this should be really, really good. And then here, you could see Gary set up our rain barrels. They're all full of water. And he's put spouts on it so I could use the water. And then I'm trying to go through all this water as quick as possible. See, he put like a hose on there so I can put my watering can under there. Got some more things in there I want to put. What's really good, and I'm going to steal this phrase. Oh, I can't remember her name. She said she loves her totes because she can chase the sun with it. I love that. And that is true. You can chase the sun. I can move some of these totes if I'm growing lettuce to this side because this side gets only morning sun. See, there's sun here, and then the rest will be shaded in about an hour, maybe 2 hours. So I can move, well, I've been doing that. I move flower pots and different things, but I just love that term she used, chase the sun. But that's it. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks, and I think it should look really, really different. But here is the front yard. Now, I'm going to have to say, I have done nothing in the front yard. I have only taken care of it, maintained it, and watered it, and picked food for us. I've been picking beets, and they're almost gone, and there's beets under here. So we've been picking beets and going through them, and I'll plant something else in there later, and that beautiful Swiss chard is now going to seed. Look at how big that is. I'm being buzzed by a hummingbird. And then here, this is celery. Look how much celery we grow. The seed, I don't even have celery in the front yard, but the seed is so fine, it blows everywhere. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I hope I don't have to compost it. I hope I can just spot it all over because it's really good. It's so nutritious. The leaves of the celery are better than the stalks, but this is all celery. This is like hundreds of little celeries keep coming in. Now the strongest will survive and the small ones, okay, so maybe the small ones won't die out. Look at this. Let me move this. I don't really even need this in here. All celery. Now this does have to go. I can't leave it like this. But the broccoli is doing fantastic. And Kitty loves her broccoli. Where is Kitty? She's probably in the other garden. I'll have to get her some broccoli. But this is just too much. So I'm going to have to figure out something. Unless I use it for greens, it'd make a great salad. Just come through, snip it off, and then eventually get rid of it. So I might do that. I'll see. And then here I'm still setting up my blueberries. This is, got 2 different types in here. Oh, the hawks have babies. They don't want anybody around. And then I've got mint. It's a broken bucket. See, this has been out here in the sun for so long. It just cracks. But you know what? It's fine for now. I'm not going to move it or touch it. So I will leave it. That's been a bucket we've left empty. When you leave it empty, then the sun will beat through it and break it. So it was an empty bucket being used for something else. Threw some soil in there, and now it's breaking down. And then here I'm just working. I haven't done anything here. I haven't done anything in here, and that is in the center there, a potato plant coming up. I'm going to collect all my potatoes. As you can see, because it's a blacktop here, I have 4 flower pots full of soil, and I've got mint growing in them, and I use that to hold my stakes. Isn't that cool? And that's what I do, just to hold my stakes. So when I get my squash in here, and I am going to get some squash in here, refurbish that up a little bit, get some more kitchen scraps, leaves, and different things from the garden in there. Then I will close this up and nothing will get in there. Oh, I do have a celery, 1 celery, but I just put this here, so that's not the mother of the celery all over. This is actually a compost container. See, if I want, I can pull it up and put compost scraps in there and then put back the celery, and then nothing can get to it. So it's kind of buried. Here comes all the leaf blowers and everything. Same thing in here. Those are seeds that are coming up. We'll see if I'm going to leave those or plant some other squash in here. And again, it's full of celery. The reason I've got to get the celery out, the celery is going to pull nutrition from what is supposed to grow in there. It's going to, because I'm not going to call it a heavy feeder, but it will pull a lot. Again, just another container. So I need to get the celery out. So it just breaks my heart to compost it. But that's it. So we'll see. Hopefully this will take off. Look how big the mint is. Wow. I'm impressed. as you can see, I haven't really paid too much attention. Look at the size. Oh my gosh, peppermint. Oh, that's coming in for tea. But see, I'm going to, oh, here comes a new seed. Now that might be the zucchini seed I put in here. But this is just stuff that was in my compost, I think. This is not. This is growing, I don't know. I've been so tired lately, I can't even remember what's what. So anyways, I've got mint growing there, and this I have to put something in. This is my potato harvest I did, and they're starting to grow. These are potatoes I grew here. I'm going to move this. This container is really too small. So I'm going to put that in a larger tote, because this year I have not bought, well, since this all started this year with the lockdown and everything, I have not bought any potatoes. I didn't want to buy any produce that is being handled in the stores. I don't want to sound like I'm paranoid, but I go by Dr. Perlmutter. He will not buy any produce. He's growing his own now. He set up his own garden. And so I figured, yeah, I'll stay away from potatoes, open things. And even though they may be bagged, I don't know. I just decided I'm going to really get serious and grow my own. I haven't bought any produce. I don't need produce. I buy a couple other things, maybe for the animals, but that's it. I don't really buy produce. We have really enough here. Anyways, chamomile and onions growing, and there's red vein sorrel there. This is just some flowers. So that's it. Can you tell I was up till 3 and 4 in the morning? I was last night. I ended up just talking to my sister for an hour. That's a purple tree collard. That's the one that got chomped in half by the deer. And look how beautiful it's coming back. It's going to be bushy too, because the deer took the top off, which is down there, and this is already bushed up. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, she called. We were talking about plants, and she still can't get the seed she wants. And there's no seeds, and I know they don't have it in England either. I was watching Gardener's World, and they don't even have soil. So I don't know what's going to be. So hopefully everything will be fine later on in the year, but if it's not, I am going to grow as much as I possibly can. And I told them, just come on down and get what you need if there's any time a problem. So that's it. So that's the front yard. And you can see, yes, I'm going to have to say I have done nothing. Oh, I threw a cardboard box down there a couple weeks ago just to see. I've done it. I've tried to grow in it. It doesn't work. I mean, if you want to try something like that, you have nothing else. But the problem is it ends up full of snails and slugs, and you end up losing your plants in there. So I don't bother with that. I stay with totes or buckets or any container. That's pretty much the best way. I mean, think about it. If you go buy a raised bed, raised beds are always a plastic, manufactured plastic, and all these plastics are fine. Don't worry about it. The toxic stuff goes into other things like tires and stuff, or they make them out of wood, and even the wood ones, they break down after a few years. That's my chair. Yes, I have not done anything with it. The tomato's making a comeback. I was going to take the tomato out. The Swiss chard is kind of stunted. It's probably a little bit root bound, and all I really have to do in here is sacrifice some stuff and maybe just freshen it up. And I have not put any more compost in there, I don't even know, 6 months or longer, maybe since I set it up. The tool may be a little worn, but it's still going strong after all these years. All right, let's walk over here. I haven't done anything here yet. Look at this. I still have to get down all the old tomatoes, and I'm going to plant something in here, probably tomatoes. Probably get this all freshened up, and then that's my peppermint. It just keeps coming back every year. See, like my sister said, all my mint died, and now it's coming back. Yeah, because mint dies back in the winter, and then it comes back with vengeance. As soon as the weather gets really warm, it loves warm weather, and they're all coming back. So it doesn't die, it hibernates. Okay, here, my ginger, this is turmeric. Black turmeric is coming up. Oh, look. I'm going to probably pull this soon. The top was the roots, just to see if the roots would grow. I know they won't, but I did it anyways. But the tubers are coming up really good. See? Look at this. Here, 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 here. So there's a piece showing there. I better keep that covered. I see it's growing there. See, it's blue? I don't know why it's showing. That's what black turmeric looks like. It's blue. So I don't know why it's open. That's not a worm. Oh, it is a worm. I'm going to have to maybe move that one out. Let me see. No, it's got roots. Let's move the worm. No, it's not a worm. I thought it was a worm. No, it's just a piece of skin. I'm going to have to get something and make sure it stays covered. But all in all, this is doing really good. This will be moved off because it's not going to do anything. It will give more room so this can expand. These were just little tiny pieces. They're just starting to come back. There are some coming in back there. This is ginger and turmeric. That's the stevia that was in the house, and I just moved it out yesterday. So it's kind of like, hey, what'd you do to me? This is the stevia I moved out, you saw, over a month ago, and look how beautiful. So when you first move it out, it may go in shock. I might just cut it back, and then it will just come back. And then that's ginger. Again, see the celery? This is something I truly, truly do not want. Because the thing is, the celery is going to take away from the ginger. So what I could do, see how easy it pops out? You transplant it. If you wanted celery somewhere, transplant it. The only thing with celery, keep in mind, is it likes a lot of water. So you have to transplant it in a place that gets a lot of water. So it's all coming back here really good. Let's see what's under here. Sometimes I cover it a little. No, nothing yet, but this is, no, just a weed. Just fluff it back. Anything you see in there, I get rid of weeds. Sometimes I even drop the weeds in water, and then it makes my own plant food. So that's basically it. So this is the turmeric table, which is turmeric, ginger, and stevia. And all in all, it's coming along. I'm slowly trying to clean up. We moved the chair so I can sit over there in my driveway garden instead. All right, oh, there's the scrub jay. Looking for peanuts, probably. I didn't put peanuts out, but I did put sunflower seed out. And look at him. I don't know if you can see him. Let's see if we can see him. Now the scrub jays are kind of picky. I mean, they're not going to eat small seed. They like larger seed, so they really like the sunflower seed. They eat some of it, they pick it open, or they hide it. That's why you'll find sunflowers coming up all over hillsides. They hide it. They hide it for a rainy day, and they don't go back and get it. But they come in, and what's fascinating is I'm about maybe 20 feet from him right now. Now, he might be one of the younger ones that were raised around the garden because the other ones are quite shy. And when they even hear your voice, they take off. This is going on with the orioles. This is going on with so many other birds. The youngsters that are being raised here are the ones that say, hey, I know that person. They're there all the time. They're part of the environment. And they come right to you. I mean, orioles, you would look at them and they would take off. And now, when they see me, it's no big deal. I even have, let's see the hummingbird? I even have a tanager. And I have not seen a tanager in 25 years, longer, because I told Gary we had tanagers and he said, no, I've never seen one. Now, I'm going to say she, but I don't know. She's coming in out of the yard with me here. She might have been raised here last year and I didn't see her. I don't know. She's super tame. But anyways, let's go into the yard. And this, I'm just moving here. I see what I'm doing. I'm going to plant something in here, so I'm going to fill the whole bottom up with debris. And this is even tree roots. It doesn't matter, the tree doesn't need it anymore, and it will just decompose. I'm going to turn this into a planter, and that's why I just dragged it in here, because I want to do something with it. And I think that'll be really nice. Paint it up, and it should look really nice. Green sorrel, walking onions, and this is where I'm starting to set up now different types of squash. Last year, let's pull this off. Last year, I grew, let's just drop this here. I just didn't want anything to get in there. I haven't closed it off and bother it. Nothing's really bothered it. As I was saying, last year I did tomatoes in here, and I still might, but right now I'm going to do different squash. I did that a few years ago, and this is doing really good. All in all, it still looks the same. There's my purple tree collard I bought on eBay. Look at that, how beautiful. I am protecting it because I don't want anything to happen to that one. The other ones we have here on the property now came from CPG. But that's my pride and joy, so we'll see how that goes, and I'm hoping it will fill up and grow in this area and look beautiful. Don't want to block too much because I have a view here, so I didn't want to put it on the corner, and we'll see what happens, but I think this is the perfect place. That's an open bottom pot, so it can set root and turn into its massive 10-foot, 12-foot tree. That's my old dinosaur kale. Look how tiny the leaves are, and look how messed up it is. But that's the only one I kept, so we'll see what happens with that. And I am trying to keep it, because it's like, what? Is it almost 5 years old? Or it'll be 5 years old, I think, this year. So we'll see. The rest of it has all passed away. But this one I'm going to leave. And we have lots of siblings. Well, it's not even siblings. Clones. All this that you see is dinosaur kale. It's all clones off of the big old ones. So you can just break a piece off, stick it in the ground like I did down there, and they will just take off and grow. Yep, there's more in there. And then, look at this. That's a lemon verbena. And the reason why that one is so exciting, that came up from seed. That pot, let me back up. Like I said, I'm still cleaning. I'm trying to run through one garden and then do another. That pot was sitting by this lemon verbena, and this went to seed. See, there's the seed. And it was sitting on the ground, and the lemon verbena started to grow from seed. So that's why I moved it over there. This is the totes I've got. These totes also are really old. They're a good 4 years old now, and they're going strong. They're beautiful. I just love them. And then these are the upside down planters. I had them, so I use them. And I'm still refreshing them. I haven't done anything. I use them for like a nursery. See, this is all bits and pieces off of sprouting broccoli, and I'm just rooting it, and I can just pull it out and move it. This needs to go. It's an old celery. I'll take that out. And even the walking onions, I could bust them out of there and put them somewhere else, and then they'll spread and get bigger. So let's see. Let's keep going. I think here we should just do kind of a walkthrough because it's all the same. I really haven't done all that much here. The only thing I did is Kitty's garden. I took the tree color that was sitting on the ground there because it waters it, put it on the wall in the driveway, and I'll put something else there for now. This is where I feed the birds. Like I said, I haven't planted anything really new. This thing does need to be trimmed. This is my purple sprouting broccoli, and it grows on top. I got to cut all the seed heads off so it will get more purple broccoli heads. But this is just turned into a windy jungle. And I was going to pull it out the other day, but I think the rabbits are eating it and the birds. See how it fell over and it went into, like, it's just snaked. See what it did? It just snaked. So I'm letting it do its thing because it's not bad. It's let the birds and the animals down there do that, and I can take from the top. But that will make wonderful compost. So we'll see how that goes. The sun isn't quite up yet, so the solar fountains are just starting to go. You've seen those planters already. That's another purple tree colored back there. And that one is from CPG. So I covered it up right now with tulle because I don't want them nibbling on it. I want it to get a good start. And then once it takes off, I'll take the tulle off, of course. But see, nothing will touch it. So and then here I haven't planted anything yet. See, now we're getting into the sunny part of my yard because one half is really shady and then it gets the sun later. Look at the size of this. Also mint. Spearmint. But I am clearing a lot of the spearmint out. So we'll see how that goes. Pepinos. I hope I'm not swinging around too much. Look at the size of these. One got stolen by a squirrel. But I need to do cuttings off of this, like this branch that has no leaves. I should just cut it, stick it in some soil, and do cuttings off of it. It'll root. You don't even have to take care of it. It roots so easily. So I want to do that. This is going. I took the pump off the solar panel. I want to repaint that, redo that, move it somewhere else. And I would move that's what's so great about solar fountains. You can just take the panel and everything and just move it. So I moved it because I had a better place for it. We'll see later. And then, of course, my water fountains. Isn't this amazing? I'm standing here talking to you, and this thing is 2 feet from me, and he's going to take a bath. All day they take a bath. They don't care that I'm here. I have actually gone up. I actually pet one day. I reached out. I didn't even think it would and let me pet one. Look at this. Are you coming to say hello? Isn't that cool? So this is going to be emptied out also. These are those old containers we had. These used to be dog kennels that some pet store threw out. I'm going to clear a lot of that out, and I'm going to get other plants in this one. We cleared that out. I used to have that curry plant in there. I'm going to leave the collard that came up, but I'm going to plant something else in there. Let's walk over here real quick. And then I had the tomato from last year. I know I said I am going to remove all of the tomatoes and I didn't. I staked it up, and I'll refresh this and get something growing in there. I am putting stepping stones. That's what I'm working on in my garden. I cleared out all the mint through here. It's so easy. You just pull it, rip it, cut it, and it's gone. And we compost some of that, not all of it, because I don't want it to grow. It depends on where it's going. But it's going to be cleared out here and cleared out over there so I can get to the back of my garden. I have to be able, this hummingbird wants to be part of the video. Look at this, he keeps coming. It's like, come look at me. I know those feeders are full. I'm going to go check it in a second. So I'm going to clear it out so I can get around, so I can get and service my garden. And we'll see what happens as that goes, but it should look really cool. This I just finished setting up. This is an old tote, and I think this one had a collard in here. I talked about it, and I let the collard lean over and crack it. But you know what? It's been cracked for over a year, and it's going fine. And it was my fault it got cracked. Some of them I do get are cracked because people threw them away, and I'll use them. With the totes, and I talk about this all the time, that are solid color, they'll crack, just like this. Now, I could put a piece of duct tape down there and it would be fine. That's not an issue. They'll just crack and they'll stay like that. They could stay like that for years. But with a clear one, the ones that are opaque, they don't crack. They shatter. It would have just shattered into pieces. That's the only difference. You can still grow in the clear ones just as good, but when they do start to go, they go fast. With the solid ones, it's a slow process, so you can still use it for years. And I'll be using it for as long as I can. I could even move this one against the wall and lean it up, and it would be perfectly fine for probably another 3-4 years. Okay, haven't done anything here. It's my lemon balm, and it left the pot, and I want to pull that out and get that in its own pot. I might leave it there because it did so well. But what I will do is pull this out. It will go into transplant shock, but it will come right back and put it into a bigger pot and leave it up here. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Maybe I'll do that today. Just starting to get through my planters. Yeah, hummingbird, he has not left yet. Let's see, here we've already looked at that. There's my red vein sorrel. It's doing really good. I've got, again in here, I've got to refresh this. I want to get the plants growing better or doing better in there. The plants you see, the different types of kales coming up, they're baby seedlings that came up. They're hybrids. They're off the this is a dazzling blue kale that went to seed, so it's got really little leaves, and I let it go totally out of control. So the leaves are small, but it's throwing seeds, and they're growing this green and blue and purple different types of kale. They taste good, and we use them. I use them in our green drinks. If I'm making tacos and I want like a salad, I use them in there. I use them, but it's just that it's not pure. It's definitely a hybrid. And again, this will all be cleared out. Maybe today I want to make a walkway so I can get to the back and be able to plant back there. I mean, I've got beautiful tree collards back there. I can't even get back there, and I want to grab some of the greens off of it. So I've got to be able to get back there, and then I've got all that growing area that I need to get to. So I need to be able to service. I got lemon verbena back there. I haven't even seen it in 2 years. Hi, lemon verbena. So I want to be able to get to my entire garden, and so far, so good. I don't know what I'm going to do with this eggplant. It's seen better days, and I am growing new eggplant from this eggplant. I've got the seed started, so I might just put the new seedlings in once they take off and get bigger, and then maybe I will compost it. Don't tell it. So we'll see, because they're growing small and yellow, and at this point, if they don't change and turn into the big purple ones, they were giant last year, it's not worth it. I'll just compost it and put more kitchen scraps. There's nothing really in there. More leaves from the collards, the tree collards, the regular collards. See that yellow leaf? That yellow leaf over there is gold to me. That breaks down into the best compost. And then I've got more tree collards back there. Look at that. That's one tree collard that split off, and it's a whole bunch of them on the top. It's just amazing. So I'll get that all freshened up and decide if I'm going to pull it out or try to add to it and see what happens. I'm going to move this bucket, but I have things growing in here I may want. I've got potato skins growing in here. So I'm going to move the bucket, take that out so I have more room in this tote and this big storage container. Look how big it is. And I'm probably going to put, I don't know, I haven't decided. I won't put peppers because it's not as warm for peppers here. I think I've grown peppers in my garden, beautiful little orange bell peppers, the mini ones, but I think it's going to do much better in a warmer area, and this is kind of a cool area. So I might go with tomatoes or other squash. I'm not sure yet, but I'm going to freshen that up. As you can see, I have been cleaning the garden, throwing celery in there and weeds, just weeds coming up. A lot of them are even from the bird seed that gets on the ground and grows. And then I've got the collard in there, and I'll put in some other kitchen scraps if we've got any bananas. Gary's got bananas. So we'll see. And then I'll maybe dig up some soil from the ground and throw it on top and get something else growing. Just not sure yet. Like I said, I haven't really worked in here. I'll show you real quick. There's all the tree collards, the purple ones. We haven't planted them yet. We're working on it. I've sent a lot to my daughter, who said she absolutely loves purple tree collard. She didn't know what it was, and when they cooked it the other day, their tree collard makes ours look so bad. They're purple ones. They put them in the ground right away when we gave it to her, and she's got massive tree collards now in her yard, in her garden, that are purple. Not green. These are the green ones, but this is what I'm hoping the purple ones will look like. And she called me and said, we treat this just like collard. And I said, yep. And she called me back and she was going, oh my gosh, we absolutely love it. Do you have more? We're like, no, yes. So we have already sent her quite a few extras. In fact, Gary dropped some off yesterday when he picked up my shoe rack that I forgot to show you, that's in the front yard, that my granddaughter texted me. I miss my family. She texted me and said she was getting rid of it. And I said, yes, I want it. This is chocolate mint. I've got sage back there. I'm still freshening this up. This is the same that's been there for a year, which is just, this is old Swiss chard. Look at it, it's buggy, it's old. Is it buggy? No, it's just spotty. It's old. I thought it was bugs. It's not even bugs. And it needs out. Look at the trunk on this. I mean, that's ridiculous. Compost this, get that out. Maybe move all the walking onions. I used to just stick baby walking onions in there. Get rid of the weeds and put something else better in here. Maybe split the lemon balm and put some more lemon balm in there. Celery coming up, and these have been my beans. We have been using so many beans on one plant. I've got to get a lot more good green beans going because this has been wonderful. I chop them up and add them to minute rice, and it's so good. All right, let's keep going. Oh my goodness, I did not see this yesterday. Look at this. Can you see that? Let me raise you. There is the purple broccoli coming up. This is purple sprouting broccoli. So instead of getting a great big head on it, I'm going to get a whole bunch of these small ones. Kitty loves her purple broccoli. And that is starting. And you know what? I think I'm going to be nasty and mean, and I'm going to put some tulle over it because I want to eat it. And I may even save the seeds. If I decide to save the seeds, then I can't put tulle on it because then I need the bees to do something. But I'm going to see on that. I do a lot of cuttings, by the way. This is wonderful for cutting. That's why I've got it all over the front yard in different places. You just take a piece off and just cut it, put it in some soil, and it just roots and takes off. But I definitely want to get some, chop it up and eat it. I want to get it before the birds get it because the birds absolutely love it too. Another feeding station, so no hawk or anything can get to any of the birds. They go in there and they eat. And this is, again, just plain old collard I picked up years ago. It looks sad, but you know what? It's like 5 years old. It was in a pot. See, it broke the pot and it left the pot. And this is one plant that is growing everywhere. So we'll see. There's nothing going on really on the inside over here. Just so you can see. I'll show you. We're pulling everything out. He'll probably set it up different this winter. We did get a lot of stuff started. I still have to get my stevia out. And I'm late on that. So when I pull the stevia out, it droops. But that's okay. It will come back. I'll trim it back. And I don't even know what else he's got in here. But that's basically it. So I'm not going to waste your time in there because we're done with that. We're into spring and it's been quite warm. Haven't even done anything in here, but that's okay. I take my time. And then, of course, this is just beautiful, beautiful Swiss chard with the red vein. That really needs to come out or be topped and then re-rooted. See how it's zigzagged? Yeah, that's a little big. And then this came out of the room. We saved the tomato plant all winter, and now it is already full of tomatoes. Look at that. So this is what was in the room that we just stepped in. And now that I dragged it out here, it's taking off. It needs some more soil or something thrown in there. Some wood chips or something on the top because the soil has really come down. Again, I have not done anything. This is old tomatoes coming back there. The strawberries, I really want to move them and set them up different. I have not gone to get any strawberries, but we have been picking strawberries. So I want to refreshen it up, maybe move this out and put something else in this area. And then of course, let's see, the papayas, these are strawberry papayas. They don't like the cold, and we had it quite cold. So that one kind of died on the top. It may come back, but it's going to send, but he could just top it and then it will send all these side shoots up, see? And see all the side shoots coming up? So he could just cut it wherever he wants. I think he just doesn't want to because it's sending side shoots up all the way through the top. So we'll see. But what I'm finding fascinating is we have new ones coming up. So there must be seeds down there, and they're sending up new little ones. Remember, it had a whole bunch of seeds in there. All right. I don't want to make this too long because there's really nothing in this part of the yard. This just has to be redone. This has got some leftover walking onions I've collected. And this is my old Moringa tree. It really got hit hard by the winter, but it's already growing new growth on the top. So we'll see what happens. I do want to plant some other ones around that are newer, which I've already started and they're doing good. And then this is a tomato. Look at this. This is a cutting. I believe this one's a cutting. Look at that. So I'm going to take care of that because those are great tomatoes. All right, so let's go through the gates. Let's keep going and see what's going on. As you can see, my rosemary. I don't need to take you down to the citrus trees here because a lot of the fruit's been removed. We froze it and I made an orange ice cream out of it. It was so good. So that was really good because we haven't bought any ice cream either. So just milk and oranges, a little bit of sugar. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I can't wait till Gary has berries. That will be a really good mix. Oh, that's a squirrel. Hold on. Now, I'm sorry for stopping for a minute, but I heard a big commotion with the hawk. But it turned out the hawk was fighting with the raven, and I thought it was after the squirrel. No, the squirrel was just, he probably went down to get a drink in our bathtub we set up. I'll have to talk about that when I get there. Okay, let's do this quick because you've seen this 100 times. This is the papayas that we planted in containers. I didn't plant them. They came up in my compost. I dragged the pots out here that they were growing in because I had other things going on and left them. And look at that one. That one broke through the pot, is in the ground. This is not the way you grow papaya, but you know what? You say it's not the way it grows, but look at it grew. We have always had papayas now all year. This has been amazing. Look at this. So you could say no. And even down this one, look at this. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? So we've been getting papayas, but that's all of them. And I've got more going in pots. When they're ready, they send their roots in. Remember, their pots have holes on the bottom into the ground. And they just keep on going. And they've all got papayas on them. This is my pomegranate I planted from seeds. Probably going to be 3 years old this year. I believe so. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? In pots. But what the big secret is with growing papaya is they are very heavy feeders, very heavy. In the tropics, they would probably be dropping all their leaves and their fruit. Think about it. And the fruit would rot into the ground and feed the plants. And you see how massive their fruit is. So that just shows you, if you step back and think about how nature works, you would realize that they are heavy feeders because their fruit would get big and heavy, fall to the ground, rot on the ground. The rains would feed the plants. So what happens is, when I've spoken to people, oh yes, we're growing a lot of papaya plants, but no papayas. And I've told them, get some totes set up next to it. You can grow in the totes. I do want to set up things in these totes, probably those squash seeds that are all over in my driveway garden. And compost in there, leaves, old rotted fruit, kitchen scraps, whatever you've got. If you've got chickens, throw in chicken manure, anything you've got. I don't think I would use horse manure on them because it might burn it. It might be too strong, but they like leaf matter really. So a lot of leaves. Water the totes as if they're a plant, even if there's no plants, because I water these totes. When I come out here and water every few days, I water the totes. The totes have holes facing the plants. It leaches into the ground and feeds these plants, and that's why we get so much fruit. Because whatever I throw in there from the garden, any type of leaves, the leaves break down and all the nutrients and the microbes and everything go to the plant. So that's the big secret, if you want to call it. It's just making sure you feed the papaya plants with natural vegetable matter, and then they'll just take off. Okay, let's see. The wrens got babies. I already peeked. I'm not going to peek anymore. I don't want to bother them. And the bush tits that were up in the nest, they've already taken off. And I think there are some hummingbirds with nests in there. All right, let's go walk over to the wall and see what's going on. Now you can see the wall is connected to the driveway. That's what this is. It's a retaining wall for the driveway. So I am going to continue working in here. I haven't done anything. Again, all I've been doing is removing things. Just removing dead leaves. This still has to be all cut back. My moringa tree here that is in the ground, not in a pot, is taking off, so that's good. I think I'm going to add another couple moringa trees on here. Being that they stay alive nice, I want to keep them really low, so I'll probably even keep the new ones chopped lower than that. We'll see. But this is that eggplant from last year that came up. I don't know what kind of eggplant it is. Came up from seed on its own. Keeps throwing these little tiny ones. I'm not real big in the eggplant. Look at them. Gary likes them though. They're kind of a purpley white. So I'm leaving that, and then I will clear up a lot of this. And this is the totes and bins that I have not really done anything yet. Almost got to it yesterday. Almost. Covered this up to make sure that nothing like snails would get in here. We had some roly-poly issues. And we're done with that. As you can see, they're growing. Now, more seeds that were in there just from being composted, from leftover squash that I threw in there. They're growing, so I want to move them. This is an old plant. I'm not even, how beautiful it is, I am not even going to try to keep it alive. It's going to be composted, but I think I'm going to raise this up. You know the story on this. I grew all that squash this past year in the winter. Everything that was growing in the fall and the winter, it didn't even have any soil in it. I was composting in there, and everything grew in about 4 inches of just debris, garden debris, and it grew beautiful. But I want to add in some soil and different things and freshen up. I think I did add a little bit into this one. But I want to freshen it up, and I want to pull out the garlic chives in the corner and give it its own pot, or at least raise it up and put it back. So nothing else is going on there. This is all sow thistle, and we leave this because the birds feed on it all day. The goldfinches love it, and so do the bush tits, and the goldfinches have babies. I've been hearing them feed their babies. So I leave all this for as long as I can, and then I compost it. So that's why you see it splattered all over the yard, because I just leave it. And I guess the rabbits don't eat it, so that's why it grows so nice. I'm going to continue the totes. Probably not quite to the bathtub. Oh, we'll walk over to the bathtub. But almost, because it starts to go uphill, and I'm thinking maybe that's a good place to stop. And then I will plant things around the bathtub. Here is the bathtub. And this is where the deer come down. Oh, and yesterday, Gary and I were standing out here, and a coyote came over. Literally came over like it was like no big deal. I guess he was coming to get water. I don't know, but then he left. Looked like a pup. But here's the bathtub, and the deer come here now, and oh, look. Okay, don't look. That's my next video. Look at that. I haven't seen it work yet. I put it out last night to see it. Look at that. Okay, I'm wasting your time. I'm amazed. I see the fish swimming all around it. Is that cool? I made that. And we'll talk about that on another video. That's my first cement project. I wanted to get the feel of cement, and I love it. And then all this happened in the world, and it kind of stopped. And that's a funny thing, because my sister and I were talking late last night, probably early morning. And she said she loves doing crafts, and I like doing crafts. And she hasn't done any, and she doesn't know why. And I said, don't worry. I had all this stuff I was going to do, and I have been doing it, but I haven't even put the videos together, and I was going to even do more, and I've got this fabulous idea that no one's doing on how to make these beautiful solar fountains, and it just came to a dead stop. So I've got to pull myself together and get back into crafts along with the gardening, and that was my first project. I'm amazed. So that worked out really good. Now, the reason I ran out here to do that, Gary put the wire there in case something wanted to come down or a lizard got caught, he would climb up the wire. The hawk that's got babies has come down here to take a bath. Let me swing you around. They have a nest with babies in that tree, our big pepper tree. and they fly down. I have yet to get that on camera. And they take a they take a bath in here. So I thought, I had that project all done differently, and I thought, no, this will work really good here. Even a hummingbird now can come down once they find it and take a bath. Oh, see, the sun is going down. See, it stopped. We're the sun is coming through the clouds. It's kind of a foggy morning. So as the sun leaves, that one needs more power. I guess the other one doesn't. I'm going to clean this up, but it's just sitting on an old black this is a floral. See what this is? This is a floral bottom that I cut off a pot, and then this is some craft thing that I just stuck a hole in it. And I don't even know what that is. There was some pipe I had or something. I don't know. It looks like an antenna. I don't know, but I stuck it on there and I zip tied it. And I will clean that up when I get this whole thing ready, because I think it's going to look so cool to sit out here with the bathtub and the fish. And he's got his duckweed growing in there. That's why the water is so green. So we'll see if the hummingbirds find that, because I put that out last night and I hadn't even walked over here, only with you. And this is the first time I'm seeing my little cement block work. I actually want to change it. I was going to change it. I don't even know if I'm going to change it. I wanted to put it more in the center, but it might be really good where it is, because this way you've got water running here and water running there. This I'm going to change, and I'm going to do it with you, because I've got a different solar panel I'm going to change it to. That's more powerful. I think that will be really cool. I figured once I get this really set up, I can start really working on it. This is some baby pomegranates that are coming up. So I'm kind of spotting them around, and then I'll get other things growing. And you know the story on the beer. My neighbor threw it out, and I said, it's mine. So I got that. All right. Isn't this beautiful? The aloe vera that Gary planted, he pulled it out of my daughter's yard. She called him and said, this was a while ago already. Do you want some aloe vera? And he thought she meant all of it. Yeah, but it's okay. She knows where it is if she needs any. But you know what? It cleared out their yard, and that's why they've got a big garden. And this is, again, just a pomegranate tree I planted, and now I'm going to get serious in here. I am starting to plant in here. This is a new container I just put in here. Gary had this barrel he found in the trash, and he said he was cutting it in half. Do you want it? And I said, yes. So I'm going to put this here, compost in here, and get squash growing. Gives it lift, gives it soil, and it gets away from the other plants. I'm going to trim a lot of this back, but not take it out, because we have a lot of food. Now, if you remember the last garden tour, the leaves were quite big on it. Well, now the leaves are getting smaller and smaller because it's going to seed. I'm in a dilemma. I don't know what to do. I was going to top it and use all the seed heads for compost. But here's the thing, and I'm not sure what to do. Those seeds grow close to 100%. So I could actually just collect the seeds. I would have millions of seeds. They would be hybrids. So you would be getting out of seeds like this, red and green, and then the red and green, because I grow both in here. I have the red Swiss chard, and it will hybridize. You tend to get something that looks like this, or even a little redder, but they go back and forth. Some will be red, some will be green. I don't know. I'll have to think about it as it gets really close, because I was going to chomp it down, but if I just bagged it up, I could sell it cheap and just let you know it's hybrid Swiss chard, because I don't know if there'll be seed in a few months. You know, when the fall comes and everybody's running to buy seed to get ready to start growing in the winter in the house to put out in the spring, I don't know if there will be seed. I have no answer to that, because I've been trying to figure out where all our seed is coming from. And I've been going to the companies, and I can't get an answer. Are the seeds from here, or are the seeds from other countries? Because I'm a little disturbed, and I am going to drag this out for 1 second. Look at that. They do not want the ravens here because they have babies. The babies have not left the nest. They're real little right now, but they really fight with them. And we actually help them get rid of the ravens. Here's the thing. As I was saying, John Kohler went to a girl's house, and it was this year, I believe, if you want to go look at his videos, John Kohler, Growing Your Greens. And she was bringing in seeds from China. And she admitted it, which is fine. You know, it's perfect. You know, and then it's your choice if you want it, but it's already here, so it doesn't really matter. But when he said to her, oh, all you have to do, here, I'll sit over here for a minute as to talk about this. He said to her, all you have to do is keep your own seeds. This is so beautiful. It's like a piece of nature on our property here. I love it. He said, is keep the seeds, and then you can grow your own. Well, she came back with, no, you can't keep the seeds and grow your own. You'll have to go look at that video. I'm pretty sure it's still up. I don't think he's pulled it. And he said, I don't understand. He said, can't you just keep your own and grow it? He says, no, because what she was saying in her broken English, the seeds are designed for a one-time use. So if you collect the seeds off of the gourd or type of squash she was growing, I can't remember exactly what it was, it will not grow true. And she said, this is what really bothered me, is the longer you try to do that, so if you did it in one season and got some fruit off of it, the second season it gets worse, and the plant will get worse and worse until you have nothing to eat. That was frightening to me. Because I was watching Casca at a show a while back. Oh, they stole an avocado from the neighbor. Oh, my poor neighbor, he's got avocado trees and the ravens go in there and they're pulling them all off, which we know they're doing that to ours too. They were, I'm trying to see if you can see this. They're fighting big time. So anyways, what Casca was talking with a group of people, he went to a plant show, is that they were upset, these guys that were sitting around with him talking, saying the heirloom seeds we're starting to buy, he said, may be heirloom, but they're not growing true. Even if you grew just that one plant in the one area, you won't get that the second time around. And I have found this in the past few years. This is exactly what's going on. It happened last year, and the year before. The year before wasn't as bad. Last year was the worst. I got heirloom zucchini. I planted them on the, I believe it was on the wall. I can't remember exactly where I planted them, but I planted them. I kept the seeds that season, same season, and I planted them. There was nothing else growing. We had no pumpkins, no other squash. None of my neighbors here growing, gardening. And we have our own bees, so they were going back and forth. They didn't grow back true. And that's exactly what I heard on, it wasn't Gardening Australia, it was Casca. He was doing a live feed off of Facebook, and they were talking. And that was amazing, because I had found the same thing, and I told him that, and he said, yes. He actually, I believe that day, answered me back, and he said, yes, they've done something to the seeds. So I don't know what's going to be this year. I will be collecting my own seeds. I grow my own seeds. If the squash is not pure and it's coming up something else, as long as it grows, and it tends to grow, it just doesn't look like zucchini, a lot of them, but they taste just as good. Your guess is as good as mine, because I'm trying to find the source of where all these seeds are coming from, and I cannot find it. You go to the company and you can't get an answer. I cannot get an answer. Where are your seeds coming from? So I'm going to probably collect a lot of seeds. I do collect seeds, but now I'm going to have to be a little more serious. I definitely collect my own lettuce seeds, because I grow romaine lettuce. I grow, and I think I showed you, I have tried all kinds, red, curly, all kinds of lettuce. But the romaine here grows like a weed. Literally. And when something grows like a weed and it's good, that's what you want to really concentrate on. And I'm only going to probably grow romaine around here, because I collect my own seed and it comes back beautiful, and it loves our weather and conditions and everything. So we'll see what happens on the seed, because come in the fall when everybody's buying seed, you know, there won't be a lot of shows. I don't think Baker Creek's going to have their big show this year that they have up north. I don't know what's going to be. A lot of the garden shows that were in this area have all been canceled. I don't know what's going to be with seed. So maybe I will start collecting more seeds than usual in case I need to spread it around for those that need it. And we'll see. Hopefully the year will end up beautiful and there'll be more seeds than everybody needs. As far as potting soil, I am seeing a lot of that disappear now. I ordered some more because I'm starting my driveway yard with potting soil, the driveway, but they're starting to run out. A lot of places are running out. Some people have told me in other states that they can't get it at all anymore. So we'll see on that. I mean, I can just dig up my own soil. Gardener's World, you know, that's what they said on Gardener's World. Just use your own soil. Monty said that. He said, I always tell you how to make mixes. That was on one of his shows recently. He said, I explained to you how to make the mixes and what to do on every plant and do this and do that and add this and add that. He said, this is the first time. He said, I have to tell you, go out in your yard, find the best soil you can, clean up anything you can, and just grow. You know, you may not get the best, but things will grow because they have no soil. And a lot of them can't go out to go shopping for it either, but he said there's no soil around. So we'll see what happens as the year goes on. Like I said, we're already in May and I can't even believe it. So now I've talked your ear off and I'm going to get work done. So when you come back in 2 weeks, hopefully there'll be a big change. And that's about it. So I'm going to have to really spread myself thin, work on the driveway, work in my main garden, and then work on this side of the yard as well and get everything going because the weather is perfect. The seeds are coming up as fast as they hit water, they grow. And that means it is time to grow. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.